Nothing in this podcast or on our website should be construed as medical advice. Consult your healthcare provider for your individual nutritional and medical needs. The information presented is based on our research and is strictly that of the author and not necessarily those of any professional group or other individual.
Hi, I'm Sue Becker from Bread Beckers. Welcome to Sue's Healthy Minutes. I'm so excited you've joined me today, and I hope this episode encourages you and allows you to find the answers you have been praying for the health of you and your family. If you are like most Americans that made a New Year's resolution, it most likely included the determination to lose weight. After all, with obesity affecting nearly 40% of adults in America, it makes sense that losing weight would be at the top of the list for the new year. But don't think this is just an adult phenomenon. Being overweight or even obese now affects 39 million children under the age of 5 and a whopping 340 million children and adolescents ages 5 to 19 years old. According to the World Population Review, the U.S. has the 12th highest obesity rate in the world. Certainly, these numbers are cause for growing concern, but more than a January resolution can reverse. Every January, more than any other time of the year, we are bombarded through media outlets with advertisements for weight loss products or programs that promise to bring that weight off easily. New gym memberships skyrocket in January, more than double any other time of the year, only to be abandoned in just a few short months. And according to recent research data, Americans spend more than $60 billion annually to try to lose weight. So with all this effort and money spent, why do we still seem to be losing this fight? While there certainly are medical conditions that can affect our metabolism and ability to lose weight, and I never want to underestimate these influences, something has definitely changed over the last 100 years. Prior to the 1900s, obesity was rarely an issue. Americans ate more real foods, fresh fruits and vegetables, real whole grains, and of course, led more physically active lives simply through their daily chores and jobs. Since the early 1900s, however, meat and sugar consumption in America has more than doubled, and fat consumption is up by 50%. Soft drinks and processed foods have replaced real food and water as daily staples, and Americans lead a more sedentary lifestyle for sure. In the first episode of this new season of Sue's Healthy Minutes, The Ripple Effect, I shared a few tips for setting simple and more reachable goals for definite periods of time that can lead to such positive benefits that ripple into other areas of our life that usually inspire us to go on rather than give up or abandon our resolutions. Today, I thought I would share a few more tips that might help us all in our journey to better health and maybe even shed a few pounds along the way. Over the years, I have often read and studied the research of Dr. James Anderson, a professor of medicine and clinical nutrition at the University of Kentucky. Dr. Anderson's studies on reversing chronic disease, particularly type 2 diabetes, fascinated me. He went against the common high-protein, low-carb nutritional protocol of the day. Instead, Dr. Anderson found that a high-fiber diet of real complex carbohydrates and low protein brought significant results in lowering blood sugar and the need for insulin. Through his recommendations and his own adherence to this diet plan, Dr. Anderson found that his patients, as well as himself, not only corrected blood sugar levels, lowered cholesterol levels, reversed constipation and bowel-related issues, but also led to weight loss as well. And those who followed his protocol experienced an overall improvement in health and quality of life. I recently came across some of his earlier work and a more comprehensive outline of his eating plan. He calls it the High Fiber Fitness Plan. It is so simple. I thought it is certainly worth mentioning here as perhaps a resolution that we can all work towards. His overall fitness plan, of course, does include exercise recommendations such as walking every day, but today I want to simply focus on the eating plan. We'll talk about exercise another day. Or you might want to check out episode 12 of season 1 of Sue's Healthy Minutes entitled Exercise in Search of Work. Dr. Anderson's dietary recommendation focuses on fiber, with a goal of consuming at least 25 grams of fiber a day following his high fiber fitness plan, which he calls his 1-2-3-4 quick weight loss plan. Now, I discussed the importance of fiber in detail in episode 17 of Sue's Healthy Minutes, Eat More Fiber. So today I'll just review the basics. There are two main types of fiber found in plant foods, soluble and insoluble fiber. Animal foods, of course, contain no plant fibers, but soluble fibers are the gelatinous fibers found more abundantly in fruits, some vegetables, dried beans and peas, and oats and barley. Insoluble fiber is present in all plant foods, particularly whole grains, but is most concentrated in the bran portion of wheat. Insoluble fiber is most effective in improving bowel functions, while soluble fiber seems to give the feeling of fullness longer and has greater cholesterol and blood sugar lowering effects. Both types of fiber are important for overall health, so you should try to eat a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables along with whole grains every day for a good fiber balance. This is why Dr. Anderson's 1-2-3-4 plan works so well. So what is the plan? In a nutshell, each day you should try to eat 1 serving of cereal, 2 servings of fresh fruit, 3 servings of vegetables, and 4 servings of starch. Following this plan, you will reach your goal of 25 grams of fiber easily with no need to try to calculate the actual grams in the food you're eating. Now, I'll explain a little more in detail the 1-2-3-4 plan, but the good news is the starch group, number 4, includes our good bread made from freshly milled whole grains. So let's take a more detailed look at each of our 1-2-3-4 foods. 1 serving of cereal. In the cereal group, Dr. Anderson includes typical breakfast cereals, but only those with at least 3 grams of fiber and no more than 5 grams of sugar per 1 ounce serving. This could include such prepared cereals as Fiber One or shredded wheat, as well as such hot cereals as oatmeal or cream of wheat. Now, I, of course, personally avoid prepared cereals, and I focus more on my own freshly milled corn grits or cream of wheat, or oatmeal for a hot cereal and homemade granola for a cold cereal. There are an abundance of prepared granola choices offered today in stores, but most are heavily sweetened with multiple forms of sugars. So you will have to read labels here, even those supposed healthier brands. But it is certainly nice for convenience sometimes to have a more healthy option than, say, Fruity Pebbles or Frosted Flakes. This cereal group could also include our waffles, pancakes, or muffins made from freshly ground whole grain flour. Next step, 2 servings of fruits. This step is probably one of the easiest to accomplish, especially if you add a serving of berries or a banana to your morning cereal or breakfast muffin. But fresh fruits such as bananas, apples, grapefruit, berries, mangoes, pineapple can all be enjoyed any time of the day. Fresh fruits are always best with the peel on if possible, but dehydrated or freeze-dried or frozen fruits can be a great option as well, as long as there is no added sugar. Number 3, 3 servings of vegetables. Getting 3 servings of vegetables, whether cooked or raw, is the goal. Now, I have to get creative here as I have some dietary restrictions that keep me from eating a lot of raw vegetables and salads, which I love. So I have learned to add greens to my smoothies or vegetables such as grated carrots or zucchini to my spaghetti sauce, and of course to such treats as muffins or quick breads. Again, fresh is best, but frozen is always an option. And last but not least, my favorite part of the plan, 4 servings of starches. In this group, Dr. Anderson includes all of our bread, pasta, rice, and potatoes, and recommends at least 1 serving at every meal. How different is this from your normal weight loss programs being promoted today? Of course, for me, and should be for everyone, the bread and pasta are going to be whole grain and freshly milled, and the rice will be brown rice. Dr. Anderson's plan is this simple. Of course, these fiber-rich, plant-based whole foods are not the only foods you'll eat each day, but if you eat the right amount of these foods, you will find that you will feel full and satisfied, and that it is easier to keep an overall balance with the other foods you want to enjoy. Your total diet should include good sources of protein, including lean meats and dry beans, as well as dairy and nuts, seeds, and healthy fats. But always the focus should be on those 1, 2, 3, 4 foods. How different is this from the diet and weight loss goals we see recommended today from most health professionals? And why does this plan work so well without calorie counting or worrying about the grams of fat and sugar contained in the food other than the prepared cereal? Well, the truth is that fiber-rich whole foods are naturally low in fat and calories, yet high in complex carbohydrates. These foods are loaded with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and more. And contrary to what you may have read or heard, complex carbohydrates are our body's most efficient source of energy. And fiber fills you up. It's what I like to call a cheap belly filler, but it does more than just fill you up. In a study of 20 developed countries, those with the lowest fiber intake from vegetables, fruits, grains, and beans had the highest death rates from heart disease. In the study, America ranked lowest in fiber intake and highest in heart disease death rates. This might also explain America being one of the most obese nations in the world. Today, carbohydrates, even whole grains, and particularly wheat, are being blamed for the obesity in America. I'm often asked, won't this bread make me fat? Well, nothing could be further from the truth. And Dr. Anderson's 1, 2, 3, 4 program proves it. Studies, though, throughout the years have continuously proven that those, and particularly women, who consumed more whole grains weighed consistently less than those who consumed less whole grains, and that those with a high whole grain intake had a 49% lower risk of major weight gain. Those who are familiar with my teaching know that I talk a lot about fiber, especially as it relates to whole grains, particularly wheat, and real bread made from freshly milled flour. To get the amount of fiber Dr. Anderson recommends, those of us that make our bread from freshly milled flour are miles ahead of most people, as each serving of real bread can provide as much as 4 to 5 grams of fiber. So making this plan a goal for the new year could be as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4, and produce ripple effects that lead to other surprising benefits. I hope that you have been encouraged today and are perhaps ready to set some new goals for 2023 and realize perhaps those better health and weight loss goals might actually be more reachable than you thought. Thank you for listening today. And as always, until next time, this is Sue Becker from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minutes.
Sue's Healthy Minutes podcast has been a presentation by the Bread Beckers Incorporated located in Woodstock, Georgia. For more information, store hours, and learning opportunities, visit breadbeckers.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast and never miss an episode. Share this with 2 friends who would benefit from this information, and be sure to join us again next week for more of Sue's Healthy Minutes.